it's Dr. Chris of MC Chiropractic, and today we're doing a callback video about sit-to-stand test. We did this video, something similar, about a year ago, but I want to go a little bit deeper into the topic today and actually help you guys get better at this test. If you had trouble with it last time, if you've never seen it before, let's try it out for the first time today. The sit-to-stand test is actually a really reliable marker of all-cause mortality in people and the function in their later years in life. But what I've been noticing a lot more recently in clinic is that even some fairly young people have trouble doing this movement. It's a lot harder for them than it should be. And the basics of it is if you're having trouble getting up from the ground to a standing position, you're probably having trouble with a lot of other stuff too. So let's break down the movement in the test. Let's see what could be causing you issues, and let's actually teach you how to get better at it, okay? As I sit down here, you can get down however I want to get down, okay? But from the floor, the sit to stand test is just, do you have to use supports and extra handholds to get you up off the floor? There's lots of different ways people can stand up from this position, but the most common one is from a cross-legged position. Just stand up, okay? Now that looks fairly simple, but it can be a little tricky for other people. There are some people who can sit directly from this position. I don't actually have the hip flexibility to do that. And there are other people that can actually get up from a pistol squat position. Again, that's a different technique. These are okay. It really doesn't matter how you get up. But the key for this test is, did you have to use your hands? Did you have to use your knees? Did you have to take a bunch of different steps to get out of this position or hang on to something next to you? If you did, the way they score the test is you get one additional point added onto your score every time you have to touch another body part down to the floor. So 1, 2, and I can get up. And when we actually look at what that means for us is the higher score we have on this test, it's like golf, that's a bad thing. You're more likely to have issues with getting around in life. You're more likely to have mobility problems. You're more likely to have inactivity due to lack of exercise and a lower quality of life and even a shorter life overall is what the research tells us. So what we're going to look at is, why don't we get moving better? How can we improve at this if we aren't able to get up on our own? The key is not to start on the floor. Struggling from this position, bending and twisting and doing wonky, weird stuff isn't a good way. The way we actually get better at doing this movement so that we can actually move better throughout life is actually starting from the standing position. We're going to use a couple props to help us get started, but they're things that everybody should have around the house or have something that they can use in place of these things. So we're just going to start out with a box here in the gym. You could use a chair, you could use a weight bench, you could use just a park bench or something like that. And we're also going to use a hand railing, in my case in the gym here, the squat rack, but we can easily use a hand railing, or I'll sometimes have people go home and set a chair in front of a sink so they can hang on to the front of the sink or the countertop like a railing. And what we're going to do is we're just going to practice sitting down to that high chair, okay? A lot of people notice when they sit down into a regular chair, they kind of drop into that last part, okay? If we have trouble hovering or controlling that nice slow sit-down movement, that's probably a sign of mild instability in the hip or weakness in those glute muscles. We've got that old use it or lose it saying. So when we sit on our duff all day, we're not actually using our glutes, we're just resting onto them. So they make a good cushion if we do that a lot. We're using them as a cushion. We're not using them to actually move and drive us. That's how we get them to stay muscles, okay? So for all us guys that are losing our butts back there, or our ladies that, I'm gonna get trapped for this, comment below if you hate me for it, but that backside used to be higher, now it's a little bit lower. Guys, we just lose our butt altogether. So if we wanna work those muscles and get them stronger, we've gotta learn to control that movement, okay? If this is very easy to this level, good, we're gonna drop down a little lower. If it's hard, we're gonna use that railing that we talked about, sink in front of us, or a hand railing or a weight rack, and we're just gonna sit ourselves down nice and slow. We're gonna use our arms to help take some of the weight off, make it lighter. Take some of your body weight off your legs, and we're just gonna sit down slowly, squeezing our butt cheeks the whole time, all the way up, all the way down. And the key on this one is to go slow. We don't necessarily wanna rock it up and use our momentum to sling ourselves forward. That's not going to help strengthen the muscles we want, and we don't want to just drop down into the chair because that's not helping muscles either. When that gets too easy, we're going to just get something lower. Maybe find a lower chair, okay? Maybe turn our exercise block around. Maybe get a weight bench instead of the chair. Maybe we were using the armrest of a chair first, and now we're using the seat pan of the chair, and we just repeat the same test all over again, okay? And we're going to go ahead and try that out. Now, once that starts feeling really easy, we could make this instantly harder, but still a good way to control movement by just using one leg. So we're going to still hang onto our railing, but we're going to just lift one leg up in front of us, or maybe bent like this. And we're going to get used to balancing on one leg for a few reps at a time. Let's see it this way so you can see the front leg. We're just lifting this one up behind me, we're putting it straight up front, and I'm figuring out how I have to squeeze and balance left and right here to get up out of that chair. And I can use my hands for balance or support, okay? This is one of the best ways to help figure out what muscles we need to actually work on. The ones that get tired the fastest are the ones that need the most help strengthening. If you have pain during any part of this, remember, call your chiropractor, call a physical therapist, get this stuff figured out, get yourself moving better. Once we don't need the railing anymore, when that's too easy, let's go without a railing. And now we just start back out at the top again. You might notice without the railing, we actually need to go higher again. Otherwise we get shaky, okay? And we're just gonna repeat all of those without a handhold now, okay? We're gonna also try, once that's easy, we're gonna put it lower again. And we're gonna keep going lower and lower and lower with our squats. If you do something like this every single day, maybe 10 repetitions, 3 sets, this is so much more important for you than going into the gym and doing these little half squats that we all like to try to get away with, holding as heavy of a weight as we can get away with, and then we wonder why our knees hurt or our back hurts, because we're not actually using the hip to do the movement. That hip is a ball and socket joint. It should have the most range of motion in that lower body. Not our ankle, not our knee, and definitely not our lower back. The hip should be doing the majority of the work. That's why we have that old saying, lift with our legs, not with our back. I wish they would have said, move your legs, not your lower back, okay? And so the point with all this is as we get lower and lower, let's go just one more notch lower. Stairs actually work really well for this. You can sit back with your feet right up against the bottom stair, and you can sit down to the third stair, and then walk out and sit down to the second stair, and then walk forward and sit down to the first stair. So we're gonna go ahead and sit a little lower here. See, caught me off guard some. So now I gotta slow that little drop at the end down and come up nice and easy. So we're gonna get lower and lower and lower. And if you're wondering how I'm gonna get from here to here, you might remember a trick we used earlier, sticking one leg out in front of us. So we may need to work our way back up to the high level again. Let's show you how it actually goes. We might bring ourselves back up to that high level and start with that leg, because hey, that's a way harder balance. You notice how my knee caves in a little bit when we're there? Holding our hands out in front of us will usually help make life a little bit easier. And as that position gets more comfortable over the course of usually a couple of weeks, people will oftentimes be shocked that they can get way better at this within a couple weeks. So we're gonna go ahead and try getting our balance down to that point and coming up nice and easily. We just keep going lower and lower and lower, okay? Once we're below parallel, which is a good place to shoot for, if we were struggling to even get up and down from the couch, let's say, then we can go ahead and actually try scooting ourselves to the floor. Again, we may want to actually start using a railing first and help ourselves sit down and come back up. And as time goes on, we're just going to progress down and down and down until we can actually sit down to the floor, cross our legs slightly, and come back up. sit down to the floor, and come back up. So we just alternate these different variations of sitting to the floor and coming back up until finally we can sit to the floor and come back up. The last stop on the way to doing this all the way on your own, step by step here. Remember, you can always rewind and go check previous post. We'll come back and do variations of this video. If you guys want us to break something down further, comment down below. We can sit down into that position. That's going to strengthen that eccentric motion or the downward portion of the movement to help those buns get nice and strong. We can always, to do repetitions, get up the way we need to and then restart that position and lower as slowly as we comfortably can. We get back up and lower into that position, okay? Until finally, one day, we try going upward again. We can get up nice and easy. Even though I'm a little bit tired from doing all those reps, because we've got a nice little workout back there, we can still do the movement up and down. After that short little workout, we should really be feeling some new muscles back there that we aren't used to talking to. But it shouldn't be painful at any point. It shouldn't hurt your knees, it shouldn't hurt your ankles, it shouldn't hurt your lower back. Remember, we're always here at MC Chiropractic to help you move better, feel better, be a better you. Comment below if you'd like more videos like this, or tell us if you have another topic you'd like us to cover. We'd be happy to do it for you. Talk to you soon.
Everybody's moving, everybody's moving, everybody's moving, 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 moving. Everybody's moving, everybody's moving, everybody's moving, 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 and stop.